At what point in your career did you realize that the business side is a bigger part than the fun is of playing in the league?
Great question. Probably 2016 when I signed my 4-year deal. Immediately for me, it was like, okay, like I worked so hard. I wanted to get this big deal, and I got this big deal, and I was all excited about it. And you get there, and I was probably healthy scratched 30, 35 times in the first year. And you're looking around, you're like, this team just signed me to a 4-year deal. Like, what is going on here? And I think that was when it really sank into me. It was like, you're just a piece of meat. It doesn't matter, who you are, what your name is. If you're not playing well for me today, or, if you're not living up to the expectations that they have for you, you're just, another piece of meat in the cycle. And I think for me, personally, in 2016, that's when it kind of started to turn for me. And I started looking at, okay, this is a business. I totally get it. Remove my emotions from it. And I think mentally, that's when I started looking, okay, what am I going to do when I'm done playing hockey? That's kind of when it sat in around the same time there.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because we've talked to numerous guys about the transition of moving out of hockey, and you've had an easier time than a lot of guys. And I'll ask you the same question I've asked a bunch of them. Do you wish there was more help from the PA when it came to guys transitioning out?
Yes, 100%. I think the PA drops the ball on that one. I've said it many times. So does your agents, though, too. Like there's got to be some responsibility. And you would, it's a weird for me. So I had my agent from the time I was 19 years old. I retired at 32, 33, and the day I stopped sending him checks every month was the day he stopped contacting me. And as sad as that is, I've known this guy half my life, and unfortunately, that's when you realize too that's kind of part of the business side, and it's kind of a sad thing when you look at it like that. But that's kind of the nature of the business too.
Okay, another question we ask all the guys is: when you got that first big check, where'd you go? What'd you spend it on?
First, like when I signed when I was 20 or from my
both. Why not?
Yeah, it's a cool feeling for me. So, it's funny. You go from junior when I was in Swift Current, you're making $160 every 2 weeks, and my signing bonus was I got $210,000 when I signed. So you got it in 370 checks each year. So I was American money at that time. I think the dollar was at 2008. The dollar was 140. So. It was the biggest check I've ever seen at that point in my life, and I was like, oh, I gotta get a car. I want to do this. I want to do that. I ended up getting it was a 2007 Lincoln Mark LT. It was just a beautiful truck. My dad still has it.
Nice.
Only drives it in the summer for some reason. I don't know why he doesn't drive in the winter.
That's a trophy.
And I know, and I tell him all the time, I'm like, Dad, just drive it, man. If you need to get another truck, I'll get you one. But yeah, that was cool. And then. When I signed my 4-year deal, I had a pretty decent-sized signing bonus there too, and I ended up paying off my cabin at that point, and that was kind of a cool feeling. I could have did something cooler with it, but that was a smart move.
No, now it looks back and you're like, that was pretty cool and pretty smart.
That was a smart move at that time. Yeah, Ferrari or something would have been better, but yeah, that was fun.
How does today Dale Weise in his prime, the best time he was playing, how does he get along in today's NHL?
Oh, another good question. I don't know. I watch a lot of the game now, and it's so individual now. And what I mean by that is like every single guy is like, I want to beat you one-on-one. I see it at the minor hockey level, and I see it every day in the NHL when I watch now. It's like, I got to beat you one-on-one. I got to beat you in one-on-one. Like I don't know where I would have fitted, but I would have loved to have the opportunity because I think end of my career, even 2018, 2019, the game was starting to go, okay, we need 4 lines. You still had a couple of guys slugging it out, but majority of the teams were switching to a 4-line team that could play. And now you see how important it is to have 4. You got to have 4 lines. There's no such thing as enforcers or a 4th line that plays 5 minutes. Like I went to the Rangers Jets game and I watched Matt Rempe play 6 minutes, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Like you just can't win like that. You can't win the playoffs, and so I don't know. I'd be interested to see. I'd love to see a Dale Weise in his prime coming into the league right now. I'd love to see what it was like. Maybe I got to make a comeback.
If you had to make a prediction, though, how would you stack up physicality-wise, skill-wise, if you were still playing the show today?
Yeah, I think, I continue to get better every single year. I made a point every single summer. I was like, okay, I'm going to come work on my skill. I'm always going to try to get better. I worked with Dave Cameron probably after my first year in the NHL. here in Winnipeg, and then continue to work with him every single year. I got better. I think I'd be pretty good. I think I'd be a rare breed because I don't think there's as many physical guys anymore. Like there's not a lot of hitting, but the game is so fast, right? You get in the playoffs, I think there's still physicality, but you watch regular season in and out, there isn't a lot of physical play, isn't a lot of fighting, which, that's fine. I think it has its place, but I think I would be a valuable commodity.
I think that it's hurting the game as far as like that lack of physicality, like the hitting, the fighting, the roughness, the toughness.
Yeah, I don't want to be the guy that's like, well, back in my day, it wasn't that long ago, but like,
you've earned that. You can say that.
I hate when guys do it, but like when I watch the game now, and I think it's great, right? Like the game is as fast as it's ever been, it's as skilled as it's ever been, but there's just no like animosity anymore. Like nobody's chirping anyone, and I'll say it from like minor hockey. There's like the competitiveness is kind of gone from the game. It's like now it's just an all-star game. It's so skilled, and when I watch the NHL, it's like I want to see some hatred out there, and like love him or hate him, but you watch the Kachuk brothers, like the whole world was watching that, and like why? Because it's entertaining. Like it's different. You don't see it that much anymore. So I'd like to see a little more hatred, a little more guys getting under guys' skin. Like it's part of the game that I miss. I don't enjoy I shouldn't say that. I enjoy watching the game. I think it's so skilled now, but I want to watch some games where there's some rivalry and some guys going at it.
We do a hockey podcast called Sling the Biscuit every single Sunday. The clips, the bite-sized chunks are right here. Only the hits, the full-length show, which you don't want to miss, is right here. That's Dave. I'm Travis. We'll see you soon.